Sometime in the last weeks, Google quietly upgraded the smart home you already own. No new speaker, no new hub, nothing to buy. And yet the device sitting on your kitchen counter right now can suddenly do things this week that it flat out couldn't do last week. But there's something buried in all of this. Google spent 2 days at its biggest event of the year showing off the future of the smart home, and the one product everyone was actually waiting for never showed up. So let's talk about what Google just changed, what it conveniently left out, and whether any of it is worth your attention. And Google I/O 2026 gave us a lot to work with. We're covering 3 things today: the upgrades landing on the speakers and displays you already own, a brand new way to control your home that has nothing to do with a speaker at all, and the thing Google does not want you asking about. So stick around for that last part because it changes how you should think about buying anything Google makes this year. The headline news out of I/O wasn't a gadget. It was that Gemini for Home, Google's AI assistant that replaces the old Google Assistant on your smart speakers, finally went wide. According to Google's own Spring 2026 update blog, we're talking 10 languages across 16 countries now, including a proper rollout across most of Europe, Australia, and Japan. And if you've been sitting in early access purgatory waiting for this to actually work in your language, that wait is basically over. And the assistant itself got a real brain transplant. It's now running on a model called Gemini 3.1, and the practical difference is something called multi-step commands. Before, you had to feed your speaker one instruction at a time, like a toddler. Turn off the lights, then set a timer, then add milk to my list. Now you can chain all of that into one natural sentence, and Gemini actually keeps up. You can say something like, add the ingredients for dinner to my shopping list, and check off the spices I already have, and it just does it. And one small change that might be the most underrated of the entire event. Continued conversation is back and improved. You no longer have to bark, "Hey Google," before every single follow-up question. You ask once, then keep talking like a normal human being. Okay, so here's a thing many of the big tech channels skipped right past, and it's a part that's actually pretty important for your home: the automation triggers. And one of these solves a problem you've probably just learned to live with. We'll get to that one in a moment. So picture how a smart home automation normally works. You set up a rule. When this happens, do that. The problem has always been how few "when this happens" options Google actually gave you. That just changed in a big way. You can now build automations that trigger on the state of your security system being armed, on a door lock being jammed or forced open, on a leak being detected, on humidity levels. And here's the one that solves the problem: appliance status. Your washing machine, your coffee maker, even your robot vacuum can now start, stop, pause, or resume an automation. Think about that for a second. You can finally build a rule that says when the washer finishes, flash the living room lights, or send a notification that actually means something instead of digging through an app. And on the security side, a forced door lock triggering your cameras and your alarm automatically is the kind of thing that used to require a separate platform or a hub running custom code. Now it's built into the Google Home app. But there's a fair warning here though, and I want to be straight with you. A chunk of the best stuff, the camera summaries, the memory features where Gemini remembers your preferences, the live search of what's happening in your home, that's all gated behind a Google Home Premium subscription. The AI subscription creep that's hitting every corner of tech right now is here too. I'll walk through whether it's worth it at the end. Okay, so the interesting part is what Google did away from the speaker entirely. Because the second big story is that your smart home is about to break free from the box on your counter. Google announced Wear OS 7, the new software for its smartwatches, and tucked inside is something called the App Functions API. Don't let the developer jargon scare you off, because what it does is simple and kind of a big deal. According to the official Android developers blog, it lets Gemini reach directly into your apps and trigger actions by voice, straight from your wrist, without you ever opening the app or touching your phone. So you could lift your wrist, say, lock the front door and arm the system, and walk out. Your watch becomes a genuine smart home remote, not just a notification screen that buzzes at you. But here's a question worth asking though. Would you trust your wrist to lock your front door? Google apparently thinks you should, because Wear OS 7 is adding smart lock control with extra security, including 2-factor authentication and pin-protected device control right from the watch. That's the kind of thing that makes wrist-based control actually trustworthy for something as serious as your front door. But and you knew there was a but coming, this is where Google plays a frustrating game. According to digital trends and multiple outlets, the actual AI layer, the Gemini intelligence that powers all of this, requires a specific chip called Gemini Nano version 3. And that chip only exists in the newest watches. We're talking about the upcoming Pixel Watch 5 and select newer Galaxy Watch models. So if you bought a Pixel Watch 4, a watch that is barely a year old, you get the new widgets, you get the live updates on your watch face, but you do not get the AI smart home control. That's the kind of decision that's going to age like milk, and it's worth keeping in mind before you buy into any Wear OS device this year. And that brings me to the third surface, the one nobody saw coming as a smart home device. Glasses. Google revealed its first audio smart glasses at I/O, built in partnership with Samsung and the eyewear brands Warby Parker and Gentle Monster. No screen, no flashy display, just Gemini in your ear all day. Now you might be wondering why I'm talking about glasses on a smart home channel. These glasses run on the exact same Gemini agentic system that controls your Google Home. In the demo, someone ordered food just by talking to the frames. And the same hooks that let it order food are the hooks that let it control your home. So picture walking up to your front door, glasses on, and just saying, "Unlock the door and turn on the entryway lights," without reaching for anything. That's the vision Google is selling. A world where the speaker, the watch, and the glasses are all just different doorways into the same assistant. Sounds pretty cool, but there's a reality check. These don't ship until fall, pricing is still a mystery, and according to the Next Web, Google is walking into a market where Meta already sold roughly 7 million pairs of its Ray-Ban glasses and holds the vast majority of the smart glasses market. So this is a first step, not a finished product. The direction is clear though. Okay, so now to the last thing. The thing Google does not want you asking about. Remember the Google Home speaker, the cute little $99 Gemini speaker with the glowing ring that Google teased way back in October. It was promised for spring 2026. Well, here's what you'd notice if you went looking for it. Spring is almost over. Google just held its biggest event of the year. And the speaker that's supposed to be the centerpiece of this entire Gemini era, it was a no-show. No release date, no update, just silence. And it gets a little awkward because there's a CSA listing for a Walmart-branded Owen smart speaker, also powered by Gemini, that based on the timing, could actually beat Google's own flagship to store shelves. If that happens, it'd be a remarkable look for Google. Building an entire AI assistant ecosystem around a speaker, it still can't seem to ship. So what does all of this mean for you practically? If you already own Google or Nest speakers, the news is genuinely good. Get yourself into the early access program through the Home app, because the multi-step commands and the new automation triggers are a real upgrade and they cost you nothing. Build one automation around appliance status or leak detection this week, and you'll wonder how you lived without it. Now, the premium question I mentioned earlier. If you have Nest cameras and you want the AI event summaries, the searchable video history, and the Ask Home memory features, premium is a meaningful upgrade. If you're mainly using speakers and basic automations, everything I just talked about works without it. The automation triggers, the multi-step commands, continued conversation, those are all free. If you're shopping for a watch, hold off until we know exactly which models get Gemini Nano V3, because buying the wrong one means buying a watch that's locked out of the best features on day one. And if you've been holding out for that $99 Google Home speaker, stop holding your breath and just upgrade what you've got. If you found this useful and you want the honest version of every smart home update without the hype, this is the channel for it. Subscribe and stick around, because the moment that Google Home speaker actually gets a real release date, and the moment we know which watches make the cut, those are the videos I'm making next. And trust me, the answer to which watches qualify is going to frustrate a lot of people who just bought one. And until next time, keep it smart, keep it simple, and keep it affordable.